The Arctic Circle is known to be the northernmost point on Earth. It is also known to have rugged terrain and a multitude of wildlife. Today's story revolves around the polar bear and its deadly attack on Christopher Enek. Please like, share, and subscribe by simply typing in Frank and Gina on YouTube. Christopher Enek was a geologist researching in the Arctic Circle and accompanied by some of his geologist friends. You see, Christopher and his associates were there to collect geographical samples from the Arctic to take back to their research center. However, Christopher was having some disagreements with his superiors back at the office. The others decided that they all should wait. However, Christopher decided he would go out and grab some samples really quick and come back. This would prove to be a fatal mistake by Christopher, which they all knew not to ever travel alone. As the researcher continued on his journey, which was only about a half a mile away from the research station, Christopher would have noticed that the ground is starting to get soft. It is suspected that Christopher decided that he could jump from one ice sheet to the next as they were breaking up to get better positioning for his sample. As the researcher noticed that the ground is thinning out and now water is coming between some of the ice sheets, his attention was briefly startled as he heard a sound that he thought was a whale. As the sound continued, Christopher realized it was coming from behind him. Then it happened. The colossal beast broke through the ice just behind Christopher, knocking him backwards. He had no time to react. This is indicative of how they hunt seal. While Christopher was able to briefly escape, the bear caught up to him. Eventually lifting himself out of the water, coming straight towards Christopher. Christopher attempted to fire off some of his bear spray behind him, but it was too far. In the midst of things, the young researcher dropped his bag and frantically searched for the spray, in which he couldn't find it. Just then, the sheet of ice that he was standing on broke through, and Christopher fell through, attempting to swim for his life. And as the researcher reached land again, his clothes were so wet they slowed him down, making it almost impossible for him to run any faster. As the bear closed in on its prey, Christopher could do nothing. It is suspected that Christopher attempted to fight one last time as the bear approached him. However, his fights were futile. It is suspected that the bear caught up to Christopher, incapacitated him, and began feeding on his corpse, leaving nothing but small bits and pieces of his clothing. In closing, rest in peace to Christopher Enek. And remember, if you're camping, out on a research mission, or anywhere else out in the wild, travel with a partner. It may make the difference between life and death. God bless. Take care.